things that I've been thinking about, you know, in terms of we'll move to that in a moment, in terms of these face readings. As you know, I did them for a year and a bit. I forget exactly, and I haven't done them for a year. And I'm going like, oh, it would be interesting to do them prior or during the hike, or, you know, when I'm up at those, just to get some data, how things are changing
good idea.
In that different environment. So this morning I sat down and I went like, okay, let's just get a reading. And I did a reading and I was really surprised because here, oh, I don't know if it's going to come out. But anyway, my numbers were 1 point difference. I mean, 16, 16, 17, 16, and 18, 17. You know, it's like, oh.
That's amazing.
And
that's amazing.
I didn't actually regularly, I didn't see, I haven't looked at the data, but I don't recall that sort of balance ever before for me. So something's going okay. Or just maybe I got lucky readings this morning.
Yes, it is.
So I'm going to keep on with that and yeah, and share that data with you later on. Talking about sharing data, let's go to, let me see, that one. Okay, share screen. It is there, good. And so now we've got.
I like your bird was cheering you in the background.
Yeah, we got these beautiful doves. They come in the mornings and
yes,
and then we feed them, and they're happy little creatures. Okay, so why did that?
They were cheering your balance.
Right. Oh, I see. I'm moving to the next image. How do I get this? Oh, maybe that way. Nope. Yeah. Okay, here we go.
It should be 31, 32, 33.
Yeah, there we go.
34.
What? Hang on, I've opened the wrong file.
Yeah. There it is. Nope, down further.
I've opened the wrong file. Hang on a moment. Where did it go? Should be that one. Yeah. Yeah, there we go. Oh my God, I didn't save it? Oh boy, hang on a moment. Oh, it's further down. There we go. We got
playing hide and seek.
Yeah, really, right at the bottom of the pile. Yeah, so similar readings, right? All within, yeah. 7. So we had on the week, what is it? 31, we had 24, 15, 20, 18. Was there anything in there that I'm missing? Okay, this is going to lead me to the next question, or the next subject. You know, one of the things that we have to be careful of when we're doing this stuff, maybe I wasn't sharing the screen. I wasn't, was I?
No, but that's okay.
Sorry about that. Now I've got it clicked on. Okay, one of the things that I don't want us to get dependent on these numbers. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're good data and they've helped a lot over the year. And I'm just wondering at some stage, maybe we should be weaning off them for a bit or not doing so many. I don't know what you think. You know, from a science point of view, we don't want the body and the mind to get into the trap of like, okay, these are great readings, blah, blah, blah. We want it to be stable without having the readings, right? We want to know that inner confidence that things are balanced. And I guess the question here is, and now they're not going out, the question would be, are you aware of the numbers being off significantly before you start to take the readings?
Nope.
Right. And that's
no, because I just allow myself to take them. You know, I do not pay attention to, I haven't even thought about paying attention to if they're off or not. All I do is just do them. And what I say is when I see that they are 3 or over, I say, oh, good, I get to balance. So then I go, okay, good, we get to balance. And then I balance my brainstem and then I forget about it. So I know I realize that for me, I like doing them because I don't pay attention to anything that's going on because I know it's going to balance if for whatever reason, like the knee happening or something happening is off. You know, I'll know that, you know, because I could feel it. I could feel it if I had a headache or if I didn't sleep enough or all that kind of stuff. But I don't, it isn't something that when I go to do it, I said, oh, I bet I'm going to be up. No, I know better than to because what we think about can often change our results. Right. So I'm very good because of having done the scientific studies and stuff towards my doctorate that you have to remove yourself from it. So I have purposely not, I've purposely not thought a thing of it.
Right.
As I do it. The only thing I think of once I've taken the readings is, oh, good, I get to balance myself. That always feels it's like, oh, that's great. Even though I didn't know I was off, cool. I get to come back to balance.
Right. See, over the year, we tightened it up from 5 to 4 to 3 points difference, right? Now, in the
3 points, yeah.
In the classical scanner work, they don't even bother with anything less than 5 points.
Okay.
Now, that's not because that's more, I think, from a practical point of view of, you know, a doctor working or a person working on somebody else. And so that's the way that they've always done it, that I know of. And I don't think Professor Ravenko's changed anything in that scope. The difference, of course, is the way that we've been approaching this is a very long-term analysis, right, or study. Mm-hmm. And what happens with that, of course, is we have way more data than would normally be collected. As I tightened up from 5 to 4, I don't know when that was, say June, and to 3, maybe it was August. I don't know. I don't remember the dates, but we could look them up here. I think I marked them down on this sheet. But as I tightened them up, it was like, oh, we can. What I was wanting to do there for you was to really get that brainstem really aligned, right, with the body.
Yes.
Because, you know, you've gone through, you know, 6 years or whatever it was of being basically housed on lockdown. We didn't call it lockdown back then, but
no.
I wanted to really establish if that would be a possibility to even maintain 3 points difference, which, you know, significantly you went into balance at that 3 points. Now, what should be happening is that obligata here, once that's, you know, you've really got it at a very fine tune now, right? It's holding. I mean, the only obvious thing that I see here is when you get less sleep, you have more readings, but that's not necessarily across the board, but say 12, 10, you had 4.5 hours in there, and you had 4 readings, and over here we had 4.5 hours, and there were 5 readings.
Oh, yeah. Okay, that makes sense.
And that would make sense, right? Because the brain stem doesn't have its normal, whatever the processing, is it dream processing time or sleep processing, rejuvenation, all of that stuff, right? So that kind of makes sense. And I think that's what happened to me when I was doing my reading as well, is that influenced it. What really influenced it for me was the gluttony in me. And that was because I was still struggling with that. And eating too much for me really compromised, like if I took the day off, so to speak, and went to the beach and had we'd always take good food, but there was, instead of fasting at the beach, I was eating at the beach, right? And that would really be detrimental to my system, and it really skewed the numbers.
Okay.
And but you've got a good handle on obviously you've got good handle and discipline on the eating. So congratulations on that. That's a huge one, as we know. Yeah, I'm just thinking aloud here for the next few months, right? I'm just thinking aloud here for you, you know, never, it doesn't really matter whether we know the scientific principle. We always influence the outcome. We can't be separate from that.
Yeah, that's right. That's it. Unless we have a blind study, and doing it by myself, there's no way I can do a blind study, even if I blindfold myself. That could happen.
Right, can't read the reading.
I'm too aware.
Yeah. Ouch. Damn it. I have to dumb you down. Yeah, I want to put that to you, from a scientific principle, what's your feelings? I mean, you have more training and experience than I do in this.
Well, I think that this is just, for a personal look at it, this is not scientific from my perspective. This is documentation to see how your brainstem is going, based on knowing there are some flaws in the study, because I'm definitely aware of what's going on. So even though I go in and say, okay, let's get the readings, and I don't even think about it, it still doesn't matter, because I'm involved in it. I cannot remove myself from it, because I know exactly what we're doing. So do I influence it? Maybe sometimes I do, but I don't. Obviously I do, but I think it's very helpful. It's like, why do people write down their weight, right? Because ultimately, if they're losing weight, they're going to lose weight, but they do it so they have some markers. Right. So we've got, the different markers to help us look at where we're at. So I see this as a wonderful tool to do that. And it also balances your brainstem. Yeah. Yeah. And I don't know how long that gets held, because we only do it, morning and evening. And lots of things happen between that morning and that evening and that morning, you know. If you had a lousy dream, you're going to have different recordings. So this is something that it's just as you said, it's a look at what's going on. It is a scientific methodology. So that is true. It's a methodology. And so I think that is helpful. Number one, so that there's a feeling of, for the person that's doing it, whether it's me or some of the other people, for the person who's doing it, they have a comfort zone in knowing they've balanced, right? And for you to be able to take a look, because you know way more about these numbers than I do. I don't know anything about these. I just know that, what I'm doing. So you really have a good feel as to what that means about, are you balancing how many this side, how many that side? I don't know any of those parameters, but for you, that's working. So I personally like the comfort of it. Now, So doing them for me, there's just this knowing that my brainstem is and I keep saying, I know brainstem, thank you. And I always say that when I'm done. I don't say anything ahead of time, I don't think anything. But afterwards, I always I thank my body for coming to balance.
Right.
Because I think that's really important, that we recognize the cells and everything that's within us, and give them, let them know how appreciative you are, that they're doing such a good job.
Next question that comes to mind now is...
But do I need to keep doing it? Is that what you were asking? Do I think I need to keep doing it? Personally, for me, yes. But,
okay.
But I don't have to send them into you.
Right. Now, the reason why I stopped is because I wanted to see what would happen when I stopped, right?
That's a good idea. Yeah, that's true.
Wanted to do it for a year, but then I didn't take any measurements, right? So I really didn't know what was happening in the brainstem, but I know in my lifestyle.
You changed, yeah.
It did validate the overeating stuff very easily. But anyway, the next question I have, I don't know how to process this data. If we were to find somebody who's a statistician to look at this and to see, just to get some bell curves on it and to do it from that sort of analysis, that might be worth...
You'd have to have more information.
Yeah.
You would really, if you wanted to make it a pure study, you would have to have more information. You would have to be recording what they're eating, after recording what they're doing. I mean, it would be a pain in the butt for the person having to write this stuff down, quite frankly, from my perspective, because there's so many variables that we are not accounting for. All we're accounting for is how we feel in the morning and how we feel in the evening. Why we feel that way and why we don't know. It all depends on, the issues that we record. But I'm not recording, had a lousy dream, stubbed my toe. I got mad at so-and-so today. A lot of things that could affect it,
Right.
I mean, and of course, I work very hard at staying balanced in my life anyway. It's just part of the path I walk, so that I'm always honoring where other people come from. So, I mean, my husband gets sometimes, I just like to have a good drag out fight. And I say, well, you can do that with yourself.
Yeah.
Because I say, I'm not in charge of you. You're in charge of you. You have, maybe there's some annoying things I do, and I'm really grateful when you point it out, but you got to find your own balance. You got to find your own way, just as I'm working on that with myself, and some days I remember some incidences that weren't so pleasant to remember from the past, and I have to learn how to process that and release it so that it doesn't stay balled up in my energy. And I'm going to tell you at the end, something new I learned from one of the shamans I work with, which I thought might help your practice. So I just started it yesterday because we just had a conversation a couple of days ago. After all this is going on, they'll get a hold of me. I'll tell you about that in a little bit. So I'm really interested in keeping the statistics going to see if it makes a difference. But I'm getting pretty good statistics anyway. But so how does that study help? I believe it's a personal tool that allows the person, because I don't think a lot of people walk their lives in balance. It allows them a moment to know the balance that they're working towards and how it's come about. But it's, of course, much more involved, as you know. That's why your readings were so good. You've been doing miraculous things with yourself and Lindy as well. You're doing the hiking, your food, you're taking, and in taking care of yourself, you're taking care of the earth. And then you have a relationship with the earth, and that changes the balance too. So I don't know if you could give it to a statistician. I don't know that. I would have to think on that.
Yeah.
I will have to think on it.
Yeah, I was wondering if we could take it to the next level. I don't know. We'll see. Yeah, thank you for your thoughts on that. That's
I
great
see. I
feedback.
see. Well, okay. So you mean going down to 2 points?
No, I don't think that's I know. I don't think that's the way to go. I think it would just.
Okay.
I don't think, relative. Here's what I'm saying. Here's my thoughts on it. Because the Russians developed these protocols in the first place at 5 points, and one of the instruments, I believe, may be at 4 points, but I haven't actually tested it with a voltmeter. But one of those, but they always stuck to that 5 points because that was significant enough. Now we're tightening. I don't think we need to tighten it more than 3. I was kind of pushing the 3 on you as an experiment. Excuse me. But I was using
No,
it,
I don't mind. I'm the right person.
Yeah, I was using it to see if that would be possible for you to hold
grateful.
that 3 points, right? And you did, right? So that was, and like you're saying now, well, shall we go to 2? Well, that is a good question. Maybe that's the way we need to go.
I don't know. You have to decide that because I don't know the.
Well, we're in.
Okay, we could do that.
We're in new territory.
I'll try it, but I would rather wait until I do this. Yeah, you're right. We're new territory. That's a good way to put it.
Right. In 2021, that's great.
So.
Yeah, 2 points.
Sure, I can go to 2 points.
What do you think, Lindy?
We'll try it, see what goes on, how it goes.
Yeah.
Do you think do you think it's going to be a significant difference from 3? That's all.
I have no idea.
That would be the thought.
It's just it's a new space. It's a new place.
No.
But I don't want you to be wasting your time because you're going to be getting too many readings. You see what I'm saying?
Oh, okay. Let's stay at 3. I feel comfortable staying at 3 for now.
Okay.
And I'll tell you why. Because I'm just starting, even though I had wonderful readings this morning. And it was after I did this, because one of the ways